What's up, you guys? It's Aaron here, coming at you with my first ever YouTube video. Doing videos for YouTube is something I've wanted to start for a really long time, but I've been kind of scared to do so, and still am, mostly because I get inside my head too much and worry about what other people are going to think and feel like I'm going to be judged because of it. But something that I want to do so I can look back on later, and then even further down the road when I have kids, grandkids, or even just my friends. I want to have something there that they can come, check out, enjoy. So hopefully this is fun. I'm going to enjoy doing this. My heart's already racing doing this, so I'm having a good time doing it, and I hope you like it as well. If you do like it, if you don't mind hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribing to my channel, that would help it grow so I can get in front of more people, which is my goal, is to try to connect with as many other people as possible. So this is a very low-key setup. Shout out to Katie for helping me set up my little space here. I got some books, got a cool hourglass, a plant, Abe Lincoln over here. I got my laptop over here, so if you see me looking this way, that's because I'm looking at my notes, because I will be doing a book review today, which I'll be getting to shortly. But really, thank you for coming and checking out this video. Thank you for the support. And today we're going to be talking about scaling up excellence, getting to more without settling for less. Doesn't that sound awesome? So I read a lot of nonfiction books, a lot of autobiographies, a lot of biographies, a lot of self-help and business books. And my goal actually this year for 2020 is to read a book every single week, which I've been doing really great. It is currently the first week of April, and I'm ahead of schedule by 2 books. So really knocking it away. Having this whole coronavirus quarantine has helped me because now I have more time at home by myself. And one of the hobbies I enjoy doing is reading. So I've been getting a lot of pages read every day, and that's helped me stay on track of my goal. So scaling up excellence, why I chose to read this book is I'm a big fan of being excellent, and I haven't felt like I've been excellent in my life recently. So I was hoping that this could give me some insights on how to be excellent again. So this book is written by Robert Sutton and Huggy. It's about 290 pages long. I don't know if you can see in here, but I have some folded pages. This is how I highlight and make notes as I go through. And then I go back and I'm doing a book report on it so I can remember the key takeaways I want from it, which is really funny because all throughout school, I never enjoyed reading for school or doing book reports. I always put it off to the last minute. Didn't always read the book, but got through it. But now I actually really enjoy reading. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially if I can get outside and read, which here in Michigan can sometimes be hard because it's cold and the weather can be temperamental. But whenever I can get outside to read, it's one of my favorite things to do. So my overall impression of the book, on a 10-point scale, I probably give it a 6.5. It wasn't one of my favorite books that I've read, but still felt it was pretty good. And who do I think should read this book is really any owner of a business or a manager who is looking to making their team better or for growing their business, or who is looking to change the culture of their business for the positive. So that's why I think you should read this book. And while I'm doing this video, you'll see it's pretty stagnant. I have a very low-key setup here, actually using a little pipe cleaner to hold my phone on the chair, so it's right here. Thanks again to Katie for helping set that up and put it on. And then I do not have any video editing skills, so we're just going to do this all one take, all the way through. If I stumble, completely okay. Hopefully it's still good, hopefully you enjoy it. I know it's kind of boring just watching someone on, so I'll try to keep moving around a little bit, hand gestures, make it a little bit more exciting as we go through here. Me and then this little Abe Lincoln statue. So the main points of the book is it talks about how to, one, grow a business. It talks about the different layers of the business you need, the people you need in your business, looking at it more as being a marathon and not a sprint, and how change is the one thing that stays constant throughout business and your working environment. So it's really about creating the right mindset is not enough, but it also needs to be lived by every employee or every person on your team, and that's how you can really get the excellent culture. Because in the book it's stated that just one negative person, you need 7 people to negate the effects of that one negative person. So the one negative person can really harm the team more rather than just one positive person. So that's something that I've took away from the book and from my working environment, is that if you can have the right people on your team and in the right spots, everything works so much easier. The excellence happens more naturally, and it all just works out better. So that's really the biggest thing I've taken away from this and in my short career so far, is that getting the right people on your team is critical to success. So every time I read a book, I always try to pick something out that I want to implement directly into my life. So something that I've been working on and keeping track of the past week is to strive to be excellent. I want to see how often I can do something before being told, like, hey, have you done this? Or hey, have you looked into this? Because I find I often know what should be done, but I struggle on doing it right away and executing and getting it done, which maybe a lot of you watching this video might have similar experiences in your life. So when I was trying to think of how can I measure this and see if I'm doing better at it, I was just going to keep a tally every time I got told to do something in my work life of something that I already knew should have been done. So this week when I did it, after I finished reading the book, didn't have any tallies. So I think that was pretty good. I also shifted my position a little bit and have a little bit less on my plate, so it's a little bit easier to stay on top of things. So I think that played into it as well, but it's something I'm going to take moving forward. The next lesson I took from the book is that you should always smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to ask for that because I do want to spread out messages, so if you like this video, please hit that button. It helps me out, it'll help out my channel, my first video, so just trying to do things right from the get-go. So if you don't mind destroying the like button, I would really appreciate that. But really one of my first highlighted lesson from the book, which was in the preface of the book, was that organizations at scale are filled with people who talk and act as if they're in the middle of a manageable mess. So it's not people that are running around like they're a chicken with their head cut off. It's people that see, like, yep, there's a lot going on here, a lot of different pieces, but we know that we can handle it. So I think when you have the right people there and you have that right culture of knowing, yep, this may be challenging now, but we'll be able to get through it, that works a lot better. On page 7, it talked about grit entails strenuously working towards challenges and maintaining effort and interest despite failure, adversity, and plateaus in progress. So in my background, I was a swimmer, so adversity, plateaus, failure are all part of the sport. So that's something I learned to overcome pretty through that sport, I guess, is because you go best time, and then there's this magical thing called taper when you go best time, but then you have all the training between all the days of practice, 2-a-day practices, where it doesn't feel like you're getting better, or maybe you actually feel like you're going backwards. But for me, I just have to know that every single day I get to the pool, I practice, work out, that it's going to help me be the best version of myself going forward. So grit is something that I like to think I have and like to keep moving forward. And then I just like the way that they've worded it in the book about keeping working towards challenges despite the failure, adversity, and plateaus in progress. So really the core of this book is that there are 8 scaling mantras. The first one is spread a mindset, not just a footprint. So you really want it to be something permeable throughout the whole business, something that's like tangible that people can latch onto and actually live throughout the business. It needs to engage all the senses, so it needs to connect people on a mental level, emotional level. It needs to be something that they can see, smell, feel, hear, taste, to really creating that excellence in your business. It needs to link short-term realities to long-term dreams. So maybe you have this big, audacious goal. So you have that big dream, but then you need to break it down by me doing this paperwork every single day, that's going to help me get there to my dream. So it's getting that long dream and then breaking it down into these tasks, and where you're doing it, you're like, yep, as I'm doing this, it's going to help me get me closer to my dream. Kind of like me doing this video is I love to educate. I never saw myself being a teacher in the traditional sense, but I do like to transfer knowledge, skills, anything that maybe I have learned, I like to teach others. So that's kind of the premise behind this channel, is to help people learn more. Be doing these book reviews first, just kind of my way to get into it. Eventually I'd love to talk about finance and fitness and just overall life hacks are really the areas that I want to focus my videos on, and hopefully spread those too. So like doing this one video is helping me get to that longer term dream of being able to help more people. You need to accelerate accountability. So this is so important, is having accountability for people, is that whenever a problem arises, is that people are rushing to take accountability for it and be like, yep, this is my fault. Here's what I can do to change it. So that's really important in business. And I find that that is also important in relationships, is that when you can just take accountability for everything in your life, when life happens for you, not to you, when you have that accountability to everything, it makes life so much easier. And there's a book by Jocko Willink that talks about extreme ownership. And that's really the premise behind that book. And that's something I try to take in, is like, okay, this is going wrong. How can I help be better? How can I make this right? So I think having the accountability for everything is important, and encouraging the people of your team to have that accountability also matters a lot too. Number 5 is fearing the clusterfuck. So maybe you work in a big organization, maybe there's a lot of bureaucracy. That's something you want to avoid and not be a part of. I read Ronald Reagan's biography, and he talked about his hate for bureaucracies and the different levels that shouldn't be there in the company, and talks about avoiding the clusterfuck, the whole chapter on that, but also talks about how sometimes those different levels are necessary in business. So you do need some type of hierarchical levels, but you want to make sure you avoid the clusterfuck where too many people trying to do different things, maybe they're working on the same thing and not communicating well. That's something you want to avoid. Number 6 is scaling requires both addition, but then also subtraction. So as I mentioned earlier, change is the one constant when you are growing a team, a business, trying to grow anything for that matter. So you want to be constantly adding new systems, new processes, new business ideas into it at all the time. But then you also need to work for those areas where you need to take out different processes or maybe levels that are no longer serving what they once did. So it's looking for how can you always optimize, whether it be adding something in, but then also looking at areas where you can subtract as well. And then number 7, which I think I said 8, but I guess there were 7 scaling mantras. My bad. Sometimes you need to slow down to scale faster and better down the road. So it's not just about how big can we get, how many different things can we get going all at once. Maybe it's just doing the right thing, do that really well, and then you add another thing. Do that really well, once that gets proficient, then you add another thing. Because I think even in life, for most people, and everyone watching this video can relate to, is maybe if you're trying to make this massive change in your life, you do all these new things at once. So let's say you're trying to lose weight. So you're going to change your diet, you're going to start working out every single day, you're going to start meditating to get rid of all the junk food in your house. You may try to do all these things at once, but then you may get burnt out. Because I often see people around that January 1st date, they get to the gym, really go hard that first day, and then they can't even move for the next week after that, and that just destroys all progress they made. So it's like, get to the gym, just do a little bit to begin with, and then move on from there. For me personally, I just started doing P90X again, wrapping up my first 30 days, which has been really great for me to do that again, because I think that's the best shape I've ever been in my life, is when I've gone through that program. And what I learned is going through the exercises the first week through, I paced myself pretty well. Then the second week, I added more, and then this third week really went up dramatically, because now I could see I can handle this and I can throw more on. So just doing those small steps at a time help you achieve success in the long run. Page 10, it says, don't wait to be told to do something. So that's really the main lesson from the book I'm trying to take into my life, is trying to be proactive on everything. When I know something should be done or think that something should be done to be better, I need to just take the initiative, do it myself, and then while working on it, if I need help, ask for help, but I'm trying not to wait to be told to do something. So that's been tough for me, but a skill in an area in my life I'm trying to get better at. So this one I actually bolded on here, so I thought it was important at the time, was when people get smug, they operate on autopilot, they take shortcuts and choose the path of least resistance too often, and they lose sight of the essence of their excellence. And that one really hit me in here, because I feel like this has been true in my life, is that I've been starting to go more on autopilot, just trying to use the least amount of time to do something, trying to take shortcuts to get to where I want to go. And I feel like it's really the negative effects of that are trying to weigh on me now. So that's something bolded, and being real with you guys, sharing those feelings of what I'm going through. Maybe other people don't see that, but that's how I feel, is like I was doing all these great things, and now I feel like maybe I took on too much or just got away from that spirit of excellence, and that's what I'm trying to get back to, which is why I picked up this book on the first place. Hopefully I figure out how to link where to get this book down in the description, so check it out there. If it's not there, just Google it, you can find it. But I'm going to work on my tech skills, which have traditionally not been super strong for me. I'm going to work on those by getting that link in the description. And I have a bunch more notes, which I will put in there as well, but I feel like I've been talking for a long time. And I think for my first video, this should be pretty good. So again, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. Please like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, where I'll be doing a book vlog every week, and hopefully start to add some other videos too. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you very soon.